Now it's time to fix the thing that's making you lie to your board about what you can actually ship. This is a great one. From episode 338, Thanos Diacakis and his buckets model. This thing was mind blowing for me. We went and implemented it pretty much immediately after I had the first conversation with Thanos and we met. But here's the uncomfortable truth: your engineering team isn't slow because they're bad. They're slow because you've never given them a coherent prioritization framework. And when I first thought about this myself, I'm like, of course we do. We have prioritization meetings and we say, here are the priorities and that kind of thing. But it's not that. Thanos breaks all of the technical work into 4 buckets. And this was a real game changer. And it's one of the reasons that I included it in this episode. The 4 buckets: features, which features are revenue generating capabilities. The second one is bugs, and that is customer experience fixes. And these definitions are really important. The third, investments, and that's infrastructure and tooling. And the fourth bucket is risk, and that is security, compliance, and scalability. And the magic is in the allocation strategy. Think about this: early stage SaaS, maybe 60% goes to features, 10% to investments. If you're a mature company, flip that ratio to ensure long-term stability. So we've got 60% in investments, 10% in new features because the product is a lot more mature. We don't need to be adding gobs of features with everything that we ship. But security, that becomes a whole lot more important the bigger you get. Compliance, scalability, infrastructure, tooling, technical debt, all of those things. Think about the allocation strategy. That is the magic. And what changes everything is making these allocations transparent. When your board is asking, or sometimes your CEO is asking, why can't we ship faster? You don't have to get defensive. You just pull up the buckets allocation and show them exactly where the resources are going. And if we want to reallocate something to somewhere else, hey, we've allocated 40% to risk because we had to pass SOC 2 to close that enterprise deal that you wanted. And that came at the expense of features. So here are the trade-offs that we made. Suddenly, it's not a fight about engineering being slow. It's a strategic conversation about business priorities. It's, hey, we don't have to do, the 40% in this risk bucket. We can take that and we can move it over to features and we can ship more stuff. But is that really what we want to do strategically? Is that where we want to go as a business? And I think that is really, really cool to think about it that way. And it just changes the conversation. As the silent killer of SaaS companies is technical debt, without a doubt. I mean, most teams address it reactively when it becomes a crisis. But by then, they've already lost deals, they've burned out engineers, they've created compounding problems, and it's a whole lot harder to fix. Nobody wants technical debt. It sucks. Nobody wants to work on it. I mean, it's not the fun part of the business, but it's something that we have to work on and have to allocate resources to before it becomes a problem, before it becomes a crisis, before it results in lost deals and lost revenue. The buckets model prevents the feature factory trap. Teams endlessly ship new capabilities while the foundation crumbles underneath. Anybody experience that? Yeah, companies using this model report 30 to 40% improvements in delivery predictability. And that's the difference between missing commitments and being the company that actually ships what you promise. All right, so what are you going to do with it? Your action, here we go. You get the Buckets Prioritization Worksheets, and that includes categorization tools, allocation calculators, and quarterly review templates. And all this was pulled from my conversation with Thanos, what we implemented, what we gave to our clients, and pulled out this little piece and giving it to you as well. So that will be in this whole bundle that we're giving listeners of the podcast.